You're listening to the In the Mix podcast with Marvin Joles. Here's your host.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. This is another episode, and I'm happy that you're in the mix with us. And have a wonderful, longtime friend, really close friend. Some might even say best friend, but I don't want to, get a couple people jealous or anything like that. So I won't say it, but we know it, but we won't say it. Today I have my friend, longtime friend, Kyle. And Kyle is from way up north. Right. I think I sent him a picture the other day. Some kid had a Traverse City jogging pants on, which I'd never seen before while I was at Disney World. And Kyle, why don't you introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and kind of what you do?
Yes, sir. My name's Kyle Ascione. I'm pretty involved in the asphalt industry. Started a second business in demolition space. But I would really like to have my identity and how people know me be as somebody that really cares for and invests into others. That's really where a lot of my time and focus goes into. What I do is just a vessel that allows me to interact with people. So
the asphalt industry is good for that.
The asphalt industry is very good for that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your business, asphalt business. I know we're not going to talk. This will be about all we talk about the business pretty much, but let us know kind of what your business looks like and what you do.
So we started August 2018, right? So you mentioned where I'm way up northern Michigan. So our season is very short, so starting a business August is kind of like you're looking at the tail end of your season when you just start something, from the word go.
Right.
That was 2018. So technically we're not even completely 6 years in yet. It won't be until August. So we've got 5.5 seasons under our belt. But anyways, there's anywhere from 10 of us on average right now, anywhere from about 8 to 12 in the season. We do paving. We started with seal coating, and that is just kind of something that we let simmer in with the business. I didn't realize that I was getting myself into a very large, I just kind of grew without thinking.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess this is the space I got us into now, which is majority paving.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you did some earthwork and stuff.
Yeah, we do move dirt and do some site work and new residential build excavation and stuff like that. Land clearing. Yeah.
What does an average day look like for Kyle? Like not just like what do you do during the day, but like what's it look like when you wake up to the end?
So
when
I would say I hit the ground running.
Okay. You wake up out of bed, put some water on your face. Do you drink coffee?
I am a coffee drinker. So lately, you want to know what I've been doing lately? Here's my favorite thing in the morning, right? Is I found this foot massager.
Okay. Please tell me you keep it on your feet.
No, I do keep it on my feet.
All right.
But I got this chair. I got this chair, and then I got this foot massager set there, and I sit in this chair, and I put my feet in the foot massager, and I drink my coffee, and I read my Bible, and like that is lately what my immediate morning looks like. Okay. Right. So each season, my daily routine switches with my seasons. So right now I go to the gym 5 days a week. So I wake up, do my, morning coffee stuff, then go to the gym. And then I'm in the office by anywhere between 7 and 9, depending on what the day is, but I'll be at the gym pretty early. Essentially it is wake up. I do the absolute best that I can to invest in myself first. And then it is.
What's that look like? What do you mean invest in yourself first? No, you ain't gotta get crazy personal, but what do you mean?
No, if there are certain things that I look for and I think that everybody looks for that they need inside a day, right? Like I'm looking for, if nothing else, like the bottom line, I need X, Y, and Z out of today.
Okay.
For me, that's investing into myself, which is checking the boxes of I did the gym, I hit my deliverables. It's the 5 critical things. Andy Frisella talks about 5 critical things.
You just kind of plan that out. Like, hey,
that for me is if I if the plan that I have set for today didn't go according in order how I wanted it to, I at least have to get it in by the end of the day, because then to me today's satisfied. If my cup is full, then I can fill somebody else's. But if mine's empty, you can't do anything.
Okay. Yeah. So then you kind of get going there. You understand what you need to do. Get dressed for the day. I mean, I know you. Let's just let people know it's not like you wake up, put on the same shirt, go to your office, do the 9 to 5, and come home and whatnot. I mean, you're right now been traveling quite a bit. I think you were telling me before you got on here, you're living in a suitcase in 2 places and doing your thing, moving around and whatnot. So I know the average day doesn't look somewhat normal, but keep going with us and let us know like what your average day looks like.
Well, so like you're right. There's a lot going. So like last night, I didn't get to bed till 4 a.m. Right. So
So
4 a.m.
last night you didn't get to bed.
Well, essentially, 4 a.m. It's 10 o'clock when we started this thing. So I didn't pass out until 4 a.m. I wake up. I'm like, all right. And this is real stuff. Like, not many people want to admit like what happens behind the camera or behind the curtain before you see what you see. And it's all presented in this nice little box and what I'm allowing you into my life, but I wake up, I'm like, all right, I really got to shave my head so I don't look like a complete hobo.
Been there.
Like, where's my stuff? Well, it's at the office. Well, I got to take a shower. Then I got to go get to the office. Then I got to, get a remote setup going. So I'm shaving my head in the office and I'm like scrambling around, getting the shower before that. And then it's kind of like a go, 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 go.
Stop.
Here's the moment.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And then it's a complete chaos. And then you hit the next moment. And that's honestly what I feel like my days are like most of the time, unless I actually stick to what I want to do and said I was going to do to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, you need to be to bed at this time. So that
simple days. Those are the simple days.
Yes.
But I think what people don't understand is like that's the minority. Simple days are the minority in our lifestyle.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
so
much.
The whole point of that question is that we don't really have an average day, right? Like it's sometimes I get to bed at midnight. Sometimes I get to bed at 2. Sometimes I get to 10. There's days when we work our tail off paving in the summer and I'm in bed at 7.
Yeah.
My body needs it to catch up. And I don't always get to read. I don't always get to go to the gym because sometimes I'm on the parking lots or whatever. I mean, the whole point of that question is to to show like we don't really have an average day. There are some things that we're able to plug in every day that are important, I think, that allow us to have the discrepancies that go on during the time that we have and allow us to adjust and get back to quote unquote baseline to start it all over again the next day.
The average day is whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's really hard, right? When I know both you and I are a fan of like, speakers and people who are people that give advice or mentors or whatever that are like people that are online. And like, I think of like Mel Robbins, where she's like, count to 5, right? Or someone be like, this is this is my daily routine. I take a hot bath or a hot sauna at night and an ice bath in the morning. Like, dude, I can't do that. Like my lifestyle don't fit that. So I think you adjust with like some of the little things that we're allowed to fit into our lifestyle here in the asphalt and construction industry. And then you just roll with it. And if you can squeeze it in, you can. But I know you're consistent in the gym.
I am. Put a pin in that, what you just said.
Okay.
That you look at these high level people.
Yeah.
And they say that this is what my day would look like because that's how they want it to go. But then you talk to them about reality and you catch them at a spot to where they almost like, it's like, wait a minute, do you remember what you said a minute ago? Because now you're telling me the real stuff and it's like, nothing's right.
Yeah. You tell me that you haven't been home for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you're traveling and had to do a red eye and did this. Well, I'm pretty sure the day you just described doesn't fit into those days. Right.
Those are ideal things. And those are something that you always strive for because, you're surrounding your efforts are surrounded an ideal situation. And so if you never have any sort of a plan like that, then it is actual chaos all the time and you have zero structure.
Yeah. I mean, You and I have done conversations before over video quite a bit, and I don't know, but a couple of them have been in your truck, but they've never been like a podcast or something scheduled. Most time it's just you and I talking. But I mean, you're
Yeah.
on a parking lot in the cab of your truck for this one, which shows that probably isn't how you imagined it. Even though I asked you, hey, can we do this? A few days ago, you make do with what you got, where you're at, and how it goes. Whether you're measuring an area for seal coating or for paving, it's very important to get that area exactly right so that you know your job costing. It's also important so that when you deliver that square footage to your client, you seem like you're a cut above because you know the exact square footage that their area is. Now, you can do this exactly with the Moser 2 Pro. They're making it easier than ever. I've been using this as of late. It's really neat. It's digital. It's on your phone. You can use the app, and it actually shows you like an elevation change in 3D rendering as well. And it captures those dimensions and calculates them instantly. So you have them right there on your phone. You can take the data and put that right onto your quote and send that over to your clients. So there's no more manual notes. The accuracy is incredibly improved. Moser 2 Pro is saving me time and enhancing my workflow because of this. If you're looking to upgrade your measuring process, visit Moser.com and use promo code X8Marvin or check the description for the link. All right, I want to jump into another question.
Yeah.
And this one's going to be somewhat of a little bit deeper one. It's a two-parter. What was your biggest challenge this past year, and how did you overcome it?
My biggest challenge this past year was getting back to the routine that I wanted because of something that threw me completely off my game.
Okay, what kind of routine? What do you mean? Like your daily?
Dude, I'm not joking. I had what I wanted. I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was in the gym by 5:30. I was at the office by 6:30. I had the day planned out. Like,
Did you not know you had it?
no, I did.
But then what?
Something came up
Yep.
unexpectedly. You involve yourself in an area of life.
Mm-hmm.
You're not expecting it, so it throws you off in a drastic way. It kind of it's you jump on a train, you didn't know where it was going, and you're along for the ride until you chance to get off. That we don't know what that ride's going to be like, and it can take you a really long ways away from home or where you originally got on.
Okay.
Right. So,
can you give us more details without saying names or getting too hard? Like, it's a situation that maybe some people are common with.
Getting into tea here now. It always boils down to relational.
Okay.
If the relationships that we have don't feed us or encourage us in a positive way, either adding something in that is good for us that we didn't have already, or encouraging us in a healthy state that we're already in, it's only going to take you backwards, right? And so we have this emotional investment account that we don't realize that we spend. We invest our emotions like we invest our money. Why? Because we're hoping for a return. Well, when we don't get that return that we're looking for, we think that if I double down, maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah. And you just keep going and you keep going with it, because eventually it's like, man, the work that I put in, what I'm hoping for, eventually if I keep going, everything else, and especially in the business world,
I was going to say it's similar to work.
In the personal development world, it's like, just keep going. You're almost there. If the only way that this will work is if you don't quit. Relationally and emotionally, you have to pay attention to that, because what'll happen is you will always invest your emotions in an area that might never pay you a return. And you get caught up in this. If I just keep going, it has to work because I'm willing to do it. Then you hope that everybody else is. And so if you're not paying attention to what is and is not good for you, and have that discipline, responsibility to see that right up front, be like, nope, not for me, then it'll take you down a really long road. So I wasn't up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I was getting an average of, I'm not joking, I kind of did the rough math, 4 hours of sleep for an entire summer in the busiest season that we've ever had, did the most revenue. And I'm like, I had a couple different times. I mean, dude, I was sleeping in my office I had a blow up mattress and I was trying to hide it from everybody. Like, I can't let these guys know kind of what I'm
There's
doing.
been a blow up mattress here at Wisco before. So yeah.
But when you go from the thought of, man, I'm waking up at 4:00, maybe I can start waking up at 3:00 and like I can get more done. And then it's like, whoa, slow down, dude. Like you almost have too much control over where you're at. Like you got to have some sort of at some point in time, you got to,
be unhealthy.
Before. Right. So the biggest challenge was getting back to where I knew the foundation was of my time being invested, where I wanted that to be, along with time didn't stop because I did. Business didn't stop because I did. Growth didn't stop because I did. So now you have to play this like super catch-up game to catch up with all the monster that you've created.
Before it unravels.
Yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, you're essentially, you're putting the motor's knocking, but you're just putting air in the tires, or you're putting a little bit of oil back in, not minding that it's leaking. I mean, I would kind of put it back to like equipment, right? Where you're like, I know the motor's leaking and I know the transmission's going. I know there's electrical issues and it doesn't have AC, but let's just put all the money in the transmission and just, let's make sure we get that taken care of. We're going to put a brand new one in. It's like, well, we could have put a little bit everywhere like we're supposed to.
Yeah.
And maybe make something happen. But in the meantime, all the other equipment is getting no attention or very little because all my resources are going here into this one piece. And I feel like we only have so much resources. And when you talk about your personal life, that's time, that's emotional credit, right? Like you only have so much of this to spend, attention, right? You only have so much to spend. And we know what we need to make what we have chosen for our lives to work. As soon as you involve another person, the understanding of that goes awry because they think they know, but they don't quite know. And it really gets to be tough because they've never lived it. They've never seen it until they've seen it. And then they think, well, why can't you just, take an hour here? Why not stay a little bit longer? Let somebody else take care of that. Let somebody else do that. It's like, well, I can, but that's going to cause a ripple effect. And this wave gets bigger and bigger and bigger the less that I stay out of it. And this wave's going to take us over at some point.
How real can I be?
You're going to be as real as you want to be.
All right. So I never knew what physical abuse was inside a relationship until this point.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, this is different. I'm on the receiving end of this, right? You got dishes getting thrown around your house. It's like there's all this stuff in your truck. When your employees ask why there's stuff scattered all over your driveway that used to be in your truck, and why there's bite marks on your arm, stuff like that.
Yep.
And you're trying to cover it up like this, and you just you're supposed to be leading these people.
Yep.
But little do they know what sweet hell you just walked out of.
Yep.
2 hours ago. That's what I'm talking about. And like when you're not like that,
it might have been a badass story.
And
they might be thinking this was going to be a badass story.
I know, dude. It's not. It's not
a badass story. It's not a fun one.
But it's like, all right, am I gonna? Yeah, we can go really far into that. But it was a season of things like that to where if you've never experienced that before, emotional, physical, mental manipulation, abuse, all that stuff, it's like, dude, it'll catch you off guard. And by the time you realize what it is, you've already become a victim to that environment. So then you start justifying things. And then it's like you're too far in. Like you need somebody, dude, you don't even know what's going on. Like,
like an intervention.
It's like an intervention. Yeah. It's like you really trust your friends around there. I remember talking to a really good friend of mine, a mentor of mine. I'm like, I just need you to tell me what to do right now because I don't trust myself to make the right decision because I don't even know where I'm at. And this is while you're running a business, while you have employees, while you're still
Sleep.
like you've created something that you can't stop,
Yeah.
So that what you're talking about with the maintenance part of it, right? Like,
Yeah.
why?
How do you overcome it? Oh, no, the maintenance side. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, the maintenance side. So how you overcome it is simple: is you identify what's going on, don't lie to yourself about the situation, get past it, and then figure out what to do. Like, don't dwell on the past, but dwell on the future. It's that simple.
Mm-hmm.
End of story.
Just do that.
Just do that. Like, stop justifying
What you should do.
yourself
Just do that.
why you're not executing on what you should do.
Yeah.
End of story. Because the longer we talk about it, the more we're wasting time acting. Just shut up and do it.
You know what
Right?
you're supposed to do.
Right. So
Down.
with the maintenance stuff, I think that's the difference between good to great.
Mm-hmm.
Because all right, so after that, yeah, things go. And how do you want to be as a business owner? Do you want it to be just it's doing what it's doing and you take pride because you have more than what you did before? Me personally, I want to see great, because after that things are going good, right? But they're not great.
Yeah.
And it's the little, you know me well enough to know that the details are important to me.
Mm-hmm.
The nuances are important, right? So
we're similar that way.
Yeah, I know it can be better. So to me, it's not good unless it's great.
Imagine if you never had to go look at a project again to know exactly what it's going to take to complete this thing. And you can also know whether or not a client is actually going to buy from you or not. Wouldn't that be awesome? You can do that. AI can do that. And there's a company that's utilizing that in order to make that possible. And that's FormView. So FormView has the homeowners take a video. This video gets sent into the software. And based on that video, FormView provides contractors with details of the work required, so a scope summary. And the AI also generates an analysis of the project requirement, and it gives you the buyer intent score. So this helps gauge the likelihood that a homeowner or project manager is going to move forward with the project. Then you don't have to make these trips out. If you have 10 quotes each day, you don't have to actually go to them. You can just go to FormView and see the video, interact with the AI, and then decide whether or not you're going to pursue this. Send them over an intelligent scope of work on your quote, and it really helps save you time overall. So go to formvue.com and check out FormView and see what they're doing over there. Great's in the eye of whoever's saying it's great, right? Because some people, simple is really, really great. Some people, complex is really, really great. But I think that's the trouble with relationships and chemistry, is that it's never going to be exactly the same. You hope that it gets as close as it can get.
Right.
But then you got to give a little bit of grace too. Like, oh, for me, not caring so much is probably a good thing. Not caring so much about certain things is probably a good thing to the other person, right? Because that's our buffer that allows us to stay kind of magnetic. All right, so we kind of talked about this past year, but now that you're okay with being pretty candid,
It took me a full year to get out of that.
yeah.
That was 2 years ago. It took me a full year to get out of that.
All right, well, maybe the next question just plays into that and we stay on it. But what's the single hardest thing? And this doesn't just have to be in the asphalt business or business in general and whatnot. But what's the single hardest thing you've ever went through?
Realizing that I actually don't have any control.
Over what?
Life.
Yeah.
Situations. Business.
How did that make you feel? How did that make you feel when you first found that out? When you were like,
it made me feel extremely liberated.
it did. So it wasn't frightening of like, oh shoot, there's no control here.
Here's the thing, and I know the exact moment. One of the biggest learning lessons in my life, and it's like one of those things that I could give a whole speech on it, but I'm not going to. Okay? Not right now, at least. Maybe another one, but it came from my second winter in business. We're plowing snow. And you can think that you have the best plan in the world to overcome whatever's coming up to you, whatever might happen. And then life and business and the world says, and you fight so hard, right? Yeah. So I had one route for the truck. I had another plow truck as a backup and another backup for the backup. Everything went down. And we got one of the biggest storms that we ever had. There's 3 feet of snow on the ground. My main truck's down. My backup's down. My backup for my backup's down. We're getting like 8 to 12 inches an hour. Right. I've got commercial properties. I got residential stuff. I literally had a buddy of mine drive me around in his truck with a shovel and a snowblower in the back of his truck. And I'm trying to do commercial properties with it, residential, like a full route, right? A full 10-hour snow route. And I'm like absolutely panicking because my life is on the line here because I just started this. A lot of people trusted me.
Why'd that happen, Kyle?
And I'm powerless. What happened?
Why'd that happen? Why'd 3 trucks go down in the middle of the biggest snowstorm? Why'd that happen?
You know what? Just because that's the way stuff goes. There is no explanation. It's like if it's gonna happen, whatever law it is.
What'd you learn?
What I learned is this. So you don't have control over anything. And sometimes it's okay to let the world burn a little bit.
How big of a lesson is that? Like how big?
It formulates every other step that I make. Because you asked me what was the hardest part, right? Was that the question?
What's the hardest thing that's ever happened to you?
What's the hardest thing that's ever happened to me? Realizing that the only thing that I can do right now is sit here and watch everything burn. And I can clean up the pieces when it's done. That was the hardest thing that's ever happened to me, but it was freeing because of this. When you get to that point, if you really don't have any quit in you, you realize that, you know what? Other people are just going to have to understand.
Yeah.
And I have no other choice but to let my world burn a little bit. They're probably going to have to save themselves for a minute. And as soon as I'm back at the opportunity that I can continue this and pick up the pieces, then I'm going to. And whoever's going to stick around, then we'll continue to do business together. But right now, I'm powerless.
I think there's a big lesson learned in that.
Yeah. You know what the lesson is? Sometimes you just got to let the world burn to save your sanity.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't lift everything for everybody all the time, right? So when I ask you like why'd that happen, well, it wasn't so that's like just because. I mean, think about what you've learned and what you understood about the world and how it works and how you have to have some grace. Like these people are going to have grace. Well, if other people have to have something, chances are you probably have to have something too, right? So it makes me think about some of these hardest things and when we dissect them and look at them. What they really teach us. Between Wiscoat, podcasting, writing, speaking, and family, I'm busy. As you can imagine, it's a lot to juggle. How do I do it? I stay organized. Jobber's been my secret weapon at my asphalt business, which takes up most of my time, but is also the force that allows me to do everything else in my schedule. That's why it's essential that Wiscoat runs fluidly and smooth. After making the switch to Jobber a few years ago, I simply wish I would have done it sooner. The process from when a client reaches out to when we complete a project for that customer has never been easier for us. From quoting, invoicing, scheduling, tracking hours, and even marketing, Jobber's made it all happen in one place in a way that everybody on our team can understand. If you're interested in a free 14-day trial of Jobber, an exclusive discount code for In the Mix listeners, check out the show description to find the link to try Jobber today. What has life taught you? Like, how do you gain perspective and use those lessons? Like you kind of hinted on one there with the snowplow situation, right? With snow removal situation. But what has life taught you, do you think, at this point? Because we live in unique cylinders, you and I both. We've had very unique paths, not somewhat unique. I think ours are unique even inside of the unique past of the asphalt industry, business owner and whatnot. But,
Yeah.
talking from you as a kid to you now, what has life taught you? I know I know that's a huge question, but,
Yeah.
and how do you gain perspective and use those lessons?
So are you purposely dropping this stuff on me so I don't have time to think about it?
Yes.
Um,
I want the first thing to come to your head.
yeah.
Because I know
He-
you're deep in.
here's what life has taught me. You're only hurting yourself if you have expectations at all.
Sure. Yep.
You know, why? If I had an
You
expectation,
can't live up to your own expectations. Other
uh,
people can't live, to try to get other people to live up to the expectations you have for them definitely isn't fair.
right. Well, if I expect this podcast to go, I'm expecting this podcast to go a certain way, or I'm expecting me to be, have, the best backdrop and, be able to present myself in a certain way.
Mhm.
And like, all right, sometimes it just is what it is, right? Somebody's still going to find the value in me because of the words that I speak, not what I look like,
Mhm.
right? Or not what environment they think that I should be in order to validate whether what I'm saying is valuable or not. That's having an expectation.
Mhm.
If I expect something to be a certain way and it's not, whose fault is that?
Yeah.
If I expect something to be a lot worse than it is, I'm robbing myself the opportunity to gain from how great it would have been
True.
otherwise.
Very true. Those are both sides of the coin. Mhm.
I think
Let's say you go to McDonald's, you order a Big Mac. Don't you expect it to taste like every other Big Mac you've ever eaten? Right, but then let's say we go to Bob's Diner, we order
right,
a cheeseburger.
right,
You can kind of expect it to taste away, but you can't
yeah.
be surprised if it doesn't because 'cause you've never been there before, right?
What? Why are people unhappy in life? Because what they expected it should be isn't that way. And here's what it comes out like, and what it sounds like in real time is, well, I didn't think it was going to be like this, or I don't think it should be like this, or it shouldn't be like this. Why?
Mhm.
What was your expectations? Well, it just shouldn't be this way. Why don't you just take things for the way that they are and just let it be that? How about that? You want to empower yourself and you want to enjoy the moment. You want to be able to capitalize on every opportunity. Why don't you stop putting things in your mind of how you think it should be, or how you thought it was going to be, or how whatever it is. Just take it for face value.
So what do you do with it? Do you change that from, "This is how it should be," to, "Let's see what's possible"? Do you say, "Hey,
Just
this
keep
is
it.
possible. Like, we might be able to do this. Let's try it."
Yeah.
Versus, "It has to be this or we're failures."
You allow yourself to have opportunities and options, because if you don't stay open to whatever, you close yourself off from any opportunity.
You think that people beat themselves up if they fall short of what they expected it to be or what they'd hoped it would be in a
Uh,
way in a way?
percent depending on the person, because there are some people that are out there that I think is a wonderful trait. They're just like,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
People that are just like, "Whatever." Sometimes
Yeah.
I've seen some of those people and I'm like, "Dude, they got it figured out. They don't care about anything." Like, they're never, like, overly happy, but they're
Hmm.
never, like, deeply sad either
Yeah.
because it's like, whatever, it is what it is. So, I think I've been on both sides of that spectrum, and I'm
Hmm.
trying to find, like, in between there somewhat, but I think the biggest thing is, like, that is a lesson that can be used, like, to lower your expectations, and definitely don't put expectations on certain people. The only
Here's a
time that I
What
find
if we
it
had zero expectations?
well, then
Not for your expectations.
0 expectations is tough because I can't hire somebody and be like, "I have no expectations of you." Like, no,
No,
I
no, no.
I expect you to show up. I expect you to help me
Right.
and at least do what the outline of your job is, right?
Hmm.
We're not gonna eat. We're hungry.
So let's take that right there. Okay, we're gonna get really deep into this. Change, because I'm big up here, and you know that. Change the thought from I have expectations of you to these are the expectations that need to be filled. I'm going to remove the expectation I have of you. And if you can match the expectations that I have set, it's a win. But if you can't, if I walk into this scenario and I have expectations of you and you can't fulfill them, I'm now disappointed in you. You're disappointed with me. There's this tension that's been growing.
They're disappointed in themselves too.
Right. Here are the expectations. If you can't fill it, fine. But I'm going to walk into this with zero expectations in something and see if it matches. If it matches, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But I'm not going to be disappointed either way.
Yeah. This is what it. Yeah. You can have some hopes, right? And be like, yeah, I hope it works out. You said it worked out, or you said it's going to work out. And going into this relationship, work relationship, whatever it is, we obviously have expectations of this thing.
Mm-hmm.
If this don't work out, we both should have the understanding that it's not working out. Right.
Well, it's how do we be emotionally involved but not react out of emotion?
Mm-hmm. And how do people want you to be emotionally involved, but then also don't want you to be emotionally involved at other certain points? That's a tough one, right? Because people are like that. You know, I hopefully I'm not, but I know I used to be. It was like, well, I want you to care, but don't care about this and don't care about that. Like, oh, you want me to pick and choose what to care about? It doesn't work. Either I care or I don't care. You don't get, lukewarm water. I want to ask you another question.
Yeah.
So, as far as I know, you don't have any children that you know about.
Correct.
But at some point you may. I want to know if you could teach something, if you could teach one thing to your child that you would really want them to sink in, or you would really want to sink into them, and they would know it to be true, right? They know that this is a true thing. What would it be?
Become friends with your gut.
Okay. Second part, how did you learn that?
Because every time I realized what I needed to do, it's what my gut told me I should have done a long time ago, and I didn't listen to it.
What is your gut? What is your gut?
Truthfully, it's my gut to me is the part of God in my life that is the Holy Spirit inside. That's your intuition. That's your what's the word I'm looking for? Your
guide. It's the guide.
It's not even, when we talk about guide, it's a very abstract thing. I'm talking about, if I want my kid to understand something, I want you to understand what's real to life that you can apply right now. Not today, not tomorrow, but right now. We all have something inside of us that's a feeling, and it's our gut that we know exactly what it is. When we start to say guide, that becomes too abstract and we get all spiritual and supernatural and look for signs and shit. No, it's what you feel. It's what you feel that you are not willing to act on because you're not comfortable with it. You're not close enough with it. You're not friends with it. Dude, trust your gut, trust your intuition, trust your conscience. Do that stuff. Become extremely comfortable with it so that you can know that that is the best thing to go off of.
Yeah.
Because most likely going to be different than 99% of what's around you.
Yeah. Like, I know that if I take a right and I see a sign that says Chick-fil-A, I'm going to Chick-fil-A. If I look left and it's just dark, I don't know where the heck I'm going. Right.
But so what's better than Chick-fil-A?
Right. Right. So it's like, well, yeah.
So take one thing that's better than Chick-fil-A.
That's gonna draw some lines here, bro. Chick-fil-A is pretty damn good.
Okay, so like maybe a new Chick-fil-A, like that's so your gut tells you that, hey, there's a new Chick-fil-A over there in the dark.
Something better. There's something better over there. Like, yeah, but it's dark. That I know. I'm just gonna go back over there. I know that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you pull up to that stop sign again. Same feeling, but no, it's over there. I'm gonna go back over there. Right. So I think that's the That's the crux. But if you would have taken a left, and the more you talk to people who would have taken that left into the dark, find out that on the other side of that, there was something better than Chick-fil-A. Even before I had a discount code partnership with Brunt Workwear, which you can find in the description of this podcast, I was wearing their boots when patching or paving and their shirts and hats when I was out on date night with Nikki. I'm actually wearing one right now. Seriously, though, half my closet is Brunt Workwear at this point. I have 3 sets of boots, 2 Marins, and a pair of the Omans, as well as a green Chevlin hoodie that I love. It's got a snake on it. It actually has a pocket where it keeps my cell phone there in the front. I love that about it. And it took the place of my winter jacket last season. To check out their full line, go to bruntworkwear.com and use code MJoles10 to save $10 off your first order of $60 or more. I think that that's the thing. And even if not, sometimes I've came back to that stop sign after I've turned into the dark and been like, hey, I know what's in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
That Chick-fil-A that I thought was just whatever actually is a lot better to me now because I knew what was over to the left now, right?
Well, you go to Chick-fil-A and you realize sometimes it's like, oh man, but this is a Popeyes. The Popeyes, and they disguise it as a Chick-fil-A. I'm now sick.
Yeah.
They fooled me. I should have listened to my gut in the first place because this isn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. I think or you take a left and it is Popeyes and you're like, damn, Chick-fil-A is a lot better. Chick-fil-A is better than it was yesterday. When it was just average, now it's a lot better because this set the bar a little bit lower. And I think that over to the right is sometimes it's important to be content with some things.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's next for Kyle? What's next? And it doesn't have to be business. You can tell me what's
next. I'm going to start my truck so my phone doesn't die here. So if you hear some noises.
Okay.
What's next for me is to more so looking at portfolio things and moving into the next phase of life, right? So you build the initial business and you do that hard work for a while and it seems like it goes on forever. At a certain point in time, your gut, your intuition will start to tell you that, hey, it's when something starts to creep into your mind, that means that your life is starting to gravitate in that direction. It might be a little premature, it might something, but your subconscious is huge, right? If it's not the right time, the only thing that you're going to think about and feel is what your subconscious is actually feeding you, right? The minute that starts to change is because there's other areas in life that are able to almost predict the future before you understand it in the front of your mind. And so your attention starts to notice other things that become attractive before you start to put 100% effort into them. And so when I see that, it's like, all right, I'm starting to see that the desire for other things is starting to come in. So things are starting to shift. What that shift looks like, it's not a legacy. It's not, nothing like that. It's the overall portfolio, right? Multiple businesses, real estate investments,
of your life, the portfolio of your life,
the life, having room to one day have a family so things like that, being the person that I want to be and who I want to become against what I want to do.
Okay.
Because the question is always asked, well, what do you do? Right? Why is it that that's the question that's always asked in a new introduction, or that's what we feel we have to tell people? Why? Because it validates our place in the world. It shows our level of contribution to the world, right? The conversation starts to change when you start to act on who you want to be versus what you want to do. That's the next thing for me, is who I want to become, focusing on that versus what I want to do.
So you have pieces of this portfolio that you want to lock in, add that to the portfolio. add that to the portfolio. One of those being space and time. I like that. I like that. That's some clarity, right, on kind of what we want to look like.
Yeah.
I posted a quote into a group that you and I are both in. I want to open it up real quick so I can read it. And it's ironic that it's by this person, especially at this time that we're recording this, but it's whatever. Don't look at that. You must determine where you're going in your life because you cannot get there unless you move in that direction. Random wandering will not move you forward. Jordan Peterson.
Hmm.
The irony of it being Jordan Peterson's funny to me, but in either regard,
It's true either way. When you get glimpses of stuff like that, it's confirmation and validate. I don't think I need to be validated. Like that's something that I think that people can get over and should get over really early, is removing the need for validation. But when you can have confirmation, there's three levels of learning, right? There's discovery, there is confidence, and there's confirmation. Discovery is when something is just brand new. Like I don't even know what it is that I'm looking at right now, but I'm learning. Like I don't know how to use it. I don't know what it does. I don't, think everybody in the asphalt industry is like, I think that's cool, you know? And then you start to learn a little bit what it's about and how to use it and how to apply it. Well, now you have confidence, which is also cockiness, because now you've became more valuable to yourself and everybody around you. So now you become a know-it-all, right? That shows up and you've gained more confidence than you had before. When you get from the confidence to the confirmation phase is really where you know what you know and you know what you don't know, and you don't need to know what you don't know, but you can be completely satisfied in what you do know. That's where maturity comes in. And I've seen myself, I've been in the automotive industry, I've been in the welding and fabrication industry, I've been in a construction industry, I've been in, the food service industry, I've been in a lot of different places, and I've learned a lot of different things, and I've grown very quickly in whatever environment that I was in, because you learn a lot of things. So I have experienced the same cycle time and time and time and time again, and I can identify it also. I can identify exactly what phase I'm in, and I can identify exactly what phase somebody else is in. And once you understand that, you're like, all right, you just handle it differently. You handle yourself differently. You handle the people around you differently, all the situation, everything.
Yeah. Cool. All right, man. I gotta let you go. I really appreciate you joining us again, dude. We can always jump into great conversations. I want to thank you first and foremost for sharing your thoughts and experiences with us. I know I'm asking some newer questions and some deeper questions nowadays.
All right.
You being candid with us, I really appreciate that. To the listeners, we really hope you appreciate this one. Hopefully, you find some resonation with it. And as always, stay in the mix. Peace.